Greetings, aloha, and as always, mahalo for tuning in to tonight's DokoGaTV right here on Hawaii News Now, K5, KHNL, and on Hawaiian Airlines in-flight entertainment. For the last 16 years, DokoGaTV has introduced and shared many experiences across Japan, highlighting their rich history, culture, seasons, friendly people, and foods. Lots and lots of foods. Since 2018, our adventures have gone global. We've wandered the vibrant streets of Vietnam, tasted our way through Singapore, and explored the culture-rich corners of Taiwan. From the icy wonders of Alaska to the sun-soaked shores of the Mexican Riviera, and even strolling through storybook towns in Europe. This time, however, for this video diary series, we venture to someplace so out of my comfort zone and element that it was truly a journey of exploration, uncertainty, wonder, and a trek where Google Translate was my best friend. This DokoGaTV non-stop travel Peru Splendors adventure took our 808 entourage to destinations that I had only seen on Nat Geo or on the Discovery Channel. From deep in the heart of the Amazon where the jungle hums with life and every rustle could be a monkey, a macaw, or something far more mysterious, to the soaring heights of Machu Picchu where ancient stones whisper secrets of the Inca under swirling clouds, we've been chasing legends and living their stories. We explored the ancient ruins of Ollantaytambo, where time seems to stand still, then set sail through Darwin's playground, the Galapagos Islands, where adorable sea lions and prehistoric iguanas rule the sandy shores. This wasn't just a trip, it was a full-throttle expedition through time, nature, and wonder. This extraordinary journey began with 3 flights crossing 5 time zones as we traveled from Honolulu to Phoenix, then to Miami, before landing at Jorge Chavez International Airport in the city of Lima, Peru. Upon our arrival, we met the powerhouse professor, our Peruvian pathfinder and guardian of grandeur himself, our Globus international guide, Mauricio Yonfa.
So here we go. Please repeat after me and do as I'm going to do. All right? Let's go. Arriba. Abajo. Al centro. Y adentro. To Peru. To Lima. And beyond. Welcome to Peru. Salud, salud. Cheers, cheers. Cheers, cheers.
From paddling through the pulsing heart of the jungle to painting vivid pictures of ancient paths perched high in the Andes, Mauricio masterfully maneuvered us through each ancient mystery and transformed every moment into a memory, every sight into a story, and every step into something unforgettable, providing an electric, enlightening, and absolutely excellent experience. The next morning, we'd hop on our 4th flight, officially kicking off this quest, so we were sure to get some last-minute supplies, including extra mosquito repellent, and enjoyed a festive, fantastic meal. After an hour and 40 minutes in the air, we touched down in Puerto Maldonado, the beating, buzzing gateway to Peru's wild, whispering Amazon. The humidity hits you like a bear hug from a sweaty Yeti. It's thick, it's relentless, it's the Amazon saying welcome to the jungle. The air is alive with sounds of cicadas, distant bird calls, and the promise of adventure. Shortly after our arrival, our ground crew sprang into action, an elite squad of logistical legends who didn't just load our luggage, they launched it. With the precision of Olympic javelin throwers, they hoisted our bags to the top of our transport caravan. And just like that, we were off, rolling down winding roads, watching locals whisk by on mopeds or motorcycles, and witnessing power lines disappear as civilization slowly vanished with each elapsing second. Our voyage here in the Amazon began where roads ended. Upon our arrival at Madre de Dios riverbank, this boat would be our main and only form of transportation throughout our stay. Welcome to a world untouched by time, where nature hums in harmony and the wild whispers its secrets. There are places on Earth that feel almost too alive. The Peruvian Amazon, dense, damp, and defiant, pulses with a rhythm older than time. No highways, no honking, just the sinuous curves of this river, a lifeline through the lush green tapestry, past walls of tangled trees, leading you to a sanctuary deep in the wild.
Non-stop travel!
DokoGaTV!
Hi, Colleen. Inkaterra Hacienda Concepción awaits like a dream woven in wood and whispering leaves. Part lodge, part eco-paradise, and part, did that just crawl under my bed? This luxury jungle rustic chic retreat is perched right on the edge of the Peruvian rainforest and blends elegance with raw nature. This is a true oasis that houses 25 spacious and comfortable private cabanas, complete with a few reminders that you're actually staying and sleeping in a rainforest. 1. The power cuts out at 10:30 p.m. sharp, which means you, your flashlight, and your imagination are now roommates. 2. Wi-Fi is limited to the main house where drinks, meals, and more drinks are enjoyed. And 3. Your nightly lullaby is a full-throated jungle jam session of frogs, bugs, birds, and at least 3 things you'll probably Google later. One thing we immediately realized, the Amazon is not a destination, it's an immersion. Each canoe ride a meditation, each rippling reflection a painting. As we drift silently, nature makes no grand entrance, it simply is, in every rustle and ripple. Deep in the emerald arteries of the Peruvian Amazon, where the humidity is thicker than seco de carne stew and every leaf looks like it's plotting against your ankles, lies a trail, root-ridden, relentless, and a rite of passage. The Tambopata National Reserve is 1,000 plus square miles of untamed wonder, a 3.5-mile gauntlet of thick jungle and logs with an occasional rustle in the bushes to keep you on your toes. However, with every step, the forest reveals its secrets. Scarlet macaws flash like feathered fireworks through the canopy. Leafcutter ants march in mesmerizing convoys, carrying slices of greenery like tiny waiters with dinner plates. And somewhere overhead, howler monkeys offer their guttural soundtrack to our expedition.
Monkey fighting.
To see it?
Yeah, I saw to the left.
Oh, I see it. Wow, they're so far up there.
Yeah.
5,000 steps. Nice.
10 more minutes from here to get to the lake, yeah? Leon is waiting for us with the boat. First, making sure about your drinking water, yeah? Second one, just a small time to relax. Third one, you will see some butterflies on the ground, just licking the salt, you know, because that's what they're doing. One reason when you will see butterflies, they are licking salt and sugar, you know. It's like humans, you know. Like humans, we need salt and sugar for, you know, rehydration, to recover in our energy that we spend it. Salt and sugar from the rainforest too.
Just when you think your feet and legs are ready to tap out and call it a day, you see it. A break in the foliage. a shimmer of light that greets you as you see the reveal of the outstretching aquatic attributes of Lake Sandoval. A mirror-flat expanse of black water framed by towering palms and the potential promise of prehistoric creatures lurking just beneath the surface. This crescent-shaped lake was born from an ancient tributary of the Madre de Dios River, and gliding across it feels like entering a lost world. Our guide pushes us off, and suddenly the chaos of the jungle fades into something still, something sacred. Caimans, the close cousins to crocodiles, slink silently beneath the surface. Watsons, those bizarre punk rock birds with a smell to match, perch in the trees like forgotten evolutionary experiments. And then, if you're really lucky, you catch a ripple, a swirl, and the unmistakable whiskered face of a giant river otter. Nearly extinct in other parts of the Amazon, they thrive here, playful and curious like water-bound wizards of the wild. Lake Sandoval isn't just a destination, it's a reward. A reward for the sweat, perseverance, and unimpeded exploration. It's proof that in the Amazon, the best experiences aren't found at the end of the road, but far, far beyond it.
Here you can see just one single trail. Why? Because only 3, 4, sometimes 5 rangers maximum to protect more than 10,000 or 40,000 hectares, you know. For them it's easier, one trail. To make a few more, so will be a huge door open, you know, for a squatter, you know. For a squatter, people trying to get into protected areas, and once they establish there, so it's difficult to take them out, you know, because Peruvian constitution, they have gaps, and to take illegals is a very long process. That's why our rangers, they protect them very well, yeah, only using one trail. The Lake Sandoval, you know, it's right here. It's inside the Tambopata National Reserve. But still, surrounding the lake, we have one portion which is yellow. Here, local people live here. Why do they live in a protected area? Because they were here before the government was starting to create a law to protect this massive land. They were protecting them before, you know, when no one, you know, have an interest. That's why they made an agreement and they live there. But they have to forget about doing farming and cattle range. Instead, the government, they just help them, you know, and that's how they start to be entrepreneurs. Because government, you know, help them, you know, with all the professionals, you know, to elaborate, you know, and try to, you know, get grants, you know, money from NGOs, you know, to be able, you know, to develop, like, I would say, like a small house, you know, for them to try to attract visitors, which they can bring some money, you know, and in that way they can replace the activity that they had before, you know, like the farming or cattle range, yeah. Also here, the brown that you see by the lake, that's a place for otters. Where the otters are, over there, protected area, and then they have another protected area only for the otters, yeah? Because those are endangered species, yeah? They hunted before for the skin, you know, for waterproof stuff, you know, very trendy in the old times, you know? They're still endangered because their population doesn't grow fast.
So we're continuing this inspiring, unimaginable journey through the Amazon, folks. This is brand new, uncharted territory for me. Nonstop Travel does these with Globus, and speaking of Globus, my new friend that I met on this trip, and he's like the master of all ceremonies and taking great care of us. Mauricio, brother, thank you so much.
Nice to meet you, Pali.
Nice meeting you.
Wonderful.
And
welcome to Peru.
just to again reiterate, this is mind-blowing. Just the fact that we're in the Amazon forest. We're staying in the Amazon forest.
That's right. Welcome to the Peruvian paradise.
I speechless.
So quiet.
I predominantly film and hang out in Japan. You know, we've done Madrid and Portugal. We're going back to Europe next year, and a few other places in between in the Mexican Riviera. But I never thought I'd have a chance to actually come out to the Amazon, into Machu Picchu, and
Imagine, exactly.
Galapagos, and on the Sandoval Lake. What are some of the, the facts of this place that people should know about?
Oh yes, this is just a little example of the huge territory that we have in here. All of this belongs to the Amazon basin, the Amazon jungle. As we say, this oxbow-shaped lake used to be part of the river, one of the rivers, the Madre de Dios, one of the main tributaries of the Amazon. By the way, the Amazon River nowadays is known as the longest river in the world.
I've heard
even
that.
longest than the Nile.
I've heard that.
So this is a very good example of what nature can be right down here. Lots of animals, lots of plants. Peru in general is the melting pot of different cultures, lots of history. The Incas are the most representative group that we are going to talk about later on when we get to Cusco and Machu Picchu.
Okay.
But before them, there were many, many other groups. And so the Incas are really the result of all of these other groups.
I see.
And this is what you're about to enjoy.
Now,
Culture, history, food. Oh, delicious food in Peru. So the products from the jungle, the mountains, the coast.
yeah,
People love that. It's just the beginning of it. Wait till we get to Cusco, Machu Picchu.
that's true.
When you
This is
try
day
your
two.
roasted guinea pig or your alpaca
will.
steak. Delicious.
Alpaca steak. That one Gene didn't tell me about, but I guess I'll have to. I will have to try
You'll
that.
have alpaca steak, delicious.
So, you mentioned earlier, of course, the wonderful flora and fauna and animals here. How is it that you guys can spot out of an entire,
Just the practice.
a
You
mile
come
of green trees?
over and over, then you more or less know where to spot for them. If you see any signs that you probably have seen before, that
Right.
means that probably something is in there or was there or
Right.
it's around there. Birds, for instance, wherever they are moving, you
Sure.
have to spot with your binoculars, with your own eyes. Nowadays, I need my glasses to see them well.
But we went out at night, like you could see nothing. You could see maybe 6 feet ahead of the boat, front of the
Yeah.
boat, right? And
Tonight on the nocturnal walk, you're going to see there's lots of things that are looking at us, and we don't really know that they are over there.
But they're
once you
watching
spot
us.
them well, they're watching us. Same right now. You can have a jaguar right behind the forest.
a jaguar.
It could be either one. So you're not sure because they are so quiet.
I see.
That's why you don't see much, especially during daytime, because the prey, they want to survive, so they don't move
Right.
much.
Right.
And of course, the predators like the jaguar, they are also mimetized very well, expecting that something passes.
I see.
That doesn't notice them.
So, of course, this will never happen. But in the
There's lots
event,
of camouflage.
camouflage.
Mhm.
Again, this will never happen. But in the event the jaguar comes flying out, so as Mauricio's self-defense technique, is that to push me in the water? Is that the
Well,
best way
now
That would
that you
work,
mentioned
right?
that, you gave me some ideas, all right?
Okay, yeah.
But no, not
I'll give you that for
necessarily.
free. Give you that for free. Oh, but it's we have our other nonstop travel group over here experiencing this amazing, beautiful, it's otherworldly atmosphere. Really, it is otherworldly.
That's right. We call it the paradise. You come from paradise to another paradise.
Where were you born and raised?
I was actually born in Caracas, Venezuela.
Venezuela. Okay.
Raised in Ecuador,
Okay.
working in Peru.
I know you've been with Globus for 22 years now.
You're right.
And what was that about traveling or sharing travel or teaching people about the world that attracted you to
my
our
real
Yucatan?
profession is a different one. It's
Okay.
architecture.
Wait.
What am I doing here? No, I
This is a
always
little
like
bit
nature.
different.
I always like nature. I always like to travel. I always like to learn languages
Mhm.
and to be in contact with people in general. Whether I'm working or not, I will always be doing that. When I travel on my own, I always try to make friends,
Uh-huh.
to start talking where you come from, to learn about your culture,
Right.
and also to share my own culture and the places that I know.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really my life, whether I'm working or not. But when you see me on planes, always trying to talk to the people next to me
Of course.
and
course.
talking about where they come from, what do they do, what's their lifestyle. So learning a lot from you, but at the same time you learn from us.
Exactly.
That's what I like. I think that's what it is.
This is a question I want to come back with you maybe in a few days after we experience more of this. So as far as the people here that live here, what is it that they would like for people to know about their country, their city?
Yeah, people want us to respect them, first of all.
Of course.
Not to take advantage of the things they do, the territory where they live.
Right.
That's why nowadays there are lots of conscience in the government. They want to protect the places where they live.
Yes.
In a little more remote areas, we have people that have never been contacted.
Exactly.
And they don't want to be contacted. Nowadays, the governments are also conscious of that. And they are respecting the areas where they live. They're not going to allow any mining companies or petroleum companies or lumber companies to go over there.
That's
So we will try to protect that. Hopefully, yeah, the effort that the governments do are respected by everybody.
Right.
There are unfortunately places, well, in Peru, in Brazil, where people don't respect that. They start cutting the wood or opening gold mines, the riversides.
I see.
That's a big problem
Okay.
because they're damaging whatever is protected. So we want really to protect this, hopefully for our next generations to continue enjoying this.
Exactly. I mean, walking through this amazing forest, and it's just, you know, they explain all the different roles that these tiny little insects play, you know, from the termite to, you know, to this other type of bird that, you know, doesn't smell great because of the fact that it eats, you know. So all these different things that play a role, a key significant like link in a chain that
One little thing disappears, then there is a unbalance
And yes, exactly. Yeah.
in the process of nature. Yeah.
Wow. So definitely happy to be sharing about this beautiful place, of course, across Peru and the Amazon, Galapagos, Machu Picchu, with everyone back home. And of course, as always, mahalo for tuning in to DokoGaTV from the Amazon. Aloha.
Aloha.